look, our effort was outstanding, so that's great, which is pleasing. I had a couple of games since the Origin where we've probably been a little critical of some areas in that department. So that was a real positive for us. The way we competed, and we obviously did a lot more goal line D than the opposition. So that was a lot of good there. But we find ourselves in a situation where we've lost another tight game. So we're not very good at tight games. So I think that's about. I think we've lost 7 and won 1 out of 8 and lost 1. 1-1. So that's probably an area, obviously, that you win your close ones, you're in a great spot. You lose your close ones, and you're in not such a good spot.
You talk about effort. Seemed to be renewed vigour in the second half. They started really strong then.
Yeah, I thought our first half defence, like Parra got off to a strong start, and we defended our line really, really well. So that was pleasing. And then again, the second half, our benchies did what we wanted them to do. I suppose they sort of really put us back in front in the game, and then. As I said, when the game became a real tight part of the game, the last sort of 15 minutes when we were behind on the scoreboard, we just didn't know how to get it done. That's as a group. It's not a one-player thing. As a group, the ball, sometimes it goes to the wrong players at the wrong time, and sometimes the right players come up with a play and then someone else does something not so good. So we don't really get that part of the game right. And, I mean, I said a few weeks ago, we're a fair bit like Canberra were last year, You got to win your tight games, or you got to win your share of tight games. And I'm not sure it's our 7th or 8th game, but it's up there in that vicinity where we've lost really tight games where we haven't been quite good enough to get the job done at the end of the game when we've been a fraction behind on the scoreboard.
Does a performance like that, Brandon, give you confidence that these guys still want to play finals footy?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt the effort tonight was there. Mick, as I said, I don't think anyone's going to challenge it. They certainly competed hard. There's a lot of disappointed guys. But we just got to keep getting that part right, that effort and the ability to want to work hard for each other. And you keep doing that and you're always a chance. And as I said, we had a couple since the Origin where, we were disappointed in. But there hasn't been a lot of those issues. There's only been, a couple since the Origin and 1 or 2 earlier in the year. So effort-wise, we're getting far more effort, far more consistently. Now we just got to get better at winning close games. Oh, it's a collective thing. It's a collective thing. It's not a one-person thing. It's collectively. As I said, the ball doesn't quite get to the right people at the right time, and sometimes the right people get it, and then they give it to someone who doesn't come up with the right play. So it's not always players in key positions. It's just as a group we don't quite get it right. We saw the effort in the last 15 or 20 minutes to keep turning Parramatta away. We got the effort and the defence right to give ourselves a chance if we could get some sort of field position, but we didn't get that bit right. And if it started to get it right a little bit, someone would come up with an error, or someone wouldn't. Someone would do something that didn't give our set the chance to get the momentum we needed to attack from.
A lot seems to happen around Caleb Ponga in attack. Is it almost too far that way? Is there too much focus on Caleb?
No, not really. I mean, when we were in the groove there, we won a few games without Caleb when we scored plenty of points, but. Most sides have got key players, and your key players, a lot of your attack does revolve around them, and that's what every side does. That's why those players in those positions are probably so sought after, But as I said, ours is not a one-player thing, or it's just a group thing. As a group, we've had lots of close games where we've certainly got the defence and the attitude right in the closer ones at key times, but we haven't got the offence part right.
Last week, you said you weren't finals team. Do you feel like you are potentially a final side yet? Or?
Oh, look, well, when you keep losing close games, Mick, there's a reason. And I'm not going to publicly say, but I've got 2 or 3 pretty strong views there on why we've lost close games. But that's not for public. That's I've had that for a number of weeks now, and there's some things there, from we can do a little better. But we've got a few ideas there, and as I said, they add up. Your couple of bad losses that you have don't look as bad if you win your share of close games.
Realistically, is that season over from a finals perspective?
Oh, look, it's going to be hard, It's going to be hard from a point of view of we're probably not going to control our own destiny now, where I think tonight if we won, we certainly controlled our own, but with the way the competition is, at the end of the day, the way it is, anything's probably possible. We got the Cowboys next week, so all we can do is bring the energy we brought tonight to the Cowboys game and do our best to get the result, and then see what happens with other games. One positive is we certainly do play sides that are in and around us, so they're sort of, if you win those games, but we're not in control of ourselves now.
Randy, do you think you've only got yourselves to blame for that, given that you got the energy tonight, but you haven't had it in the last 2 or 3 games? Is that a back on you guys?
Yeah, I think, as I said, Baz, when you lose close games, and against we sort of, the Canterbury game, we're certainly a little bit flat there, but Tigers game, we didn't get our defensive part of the game right. We certainly got the offense right, didn't get our defense right, and we pay a price there. But as I said, when you win a big chunk of, when you lose a big chunk of close games, that you pay, at some stage you pay the piper, don't you? And whether it stops you finishing in the top 4 or whether it stops you finishing in the top 8, you pay the price for it. And there's a lot of sides that are up there now. If you looked at their scores, they would have won their share of close games. And the games that we've won against good sides too, we've really won well. We've had some really, really strong wins against some really good sides. But again, in tight situations, I think at home we've lost 6 by an average of 3.8 points at home. So you're dealing in fine margins. But when it keeps happening, there's a reason why it keeps happening. It's not bad luck, that's for sure.
How hard is it to keep picking the guys up when obviously they're pretty disappointed at the moment?
I'd be really, really disappointed if, as I said, we've had a little period lately, Rob, where those few games where we're disappointed with commitment and effort. We had 1 or 2 in the early part of the year, but as a whole, there's been a fairly significant commitment effort, not quite enough at 1 or 2 times, but I'll be really disappointed if we didn't really, really compete really hard at the back end of the year. Really disappointed. We've lost a lot of close games at home. We've got the Cowboys next week, who again are, their heartbreak and loss on the weekend probably took them out of finals contention now. And but there's so much to play for. For us, it's about building our club to get it to where we want to get to, and we certainly want to keep being a team that's known for competing very, very hard. And as I said, we had a couple of weeks there where we weren't so good, but we got that right tonight. We've got to get it right for the next 3 or 4 weeks.